Dear students, in this video, I will continue with the story The Happy Prince. The statue continued with his story. He spoke in a very musical voice that far away there was a house of a poor woman. The window of her house was open, and he could see through the window that she was sitting near the table. Her face was thin and she was tired. Her hands were rough and had become red because they had been pricked by the needle. The woman was a seamstress. She was embroidering flowers on a gown of the queen's maid who would walk along with the queen during the court ball. The statue said that the lady who was embroidering the gown had a little child who was not feeling well. He was suffering from fever. He asked his mom to give him some oranges. His mother was very poor. She had no money. She had nothing to give him but river water. So the little boy was crying. The Happy Princess statue requested the swallow to take out the ruby stone from the handle of its sword and give it to the lady. He added that his feet were fastened to the platform because of which he could not move. The swallow hesitated to obey him initially. He replied that he had to go to Egypt. His friends were waiting for him. They had already reached Egypt. They were flying near the Nile River and were talking to the large lotus flowers which grew there. Soon they would go to sleep, and so he wanted to reach Egypt at the earliest. The statue requested the swallow to stay with him for just one night. He asked him to be his messenger and work on his behalf. He said that the boy was very thirsty and his mother was very sad. So he should go and give the ruby stone from the handle of its sword to her. Once again, the swallow opposed his request and said that he did not like boys, so why should he help that boy? Moreover, he had to go to Egypt. But the Happy Prince was so sad that the swallow felt sorry for him. He said that it was very cold there, but he would stay with him for one night, just one night, and the next morning he would do his work. I hope you have understood so far. The Happy Prince thanked him. Finally, the swallow took out the ruby stone from the Happy Prince's sword, and the bird took the ruby in its beak and flew over the town. As the swallow was on his way to the poor woman's house, it passed the cathedral. What is it? A church. Then he reached the palace. He crossed the palace and he could hear the sound of dancing from inside the palace. When the swallow was crossing over the palace, a girl came out on the balcony along with her lover. She was hoping that the gown which she had given to the seamstress for embroidering would be ready on time. So the girl, she was only worried about herself and she was least bothered what was the condition of the seamstress. She was talking about the same gown on which the seamstress was doing embroidering, to whom the bird had to give the ruby stone. When the swallow flew over the river, ships also came along the way. Lanterns were hanging on their sails. Finally, the swallow reached the woman's house. The boy was suffering from fever, and for that reason he was not able to go to sleep. So he was turning left and right on his bed, and his mother was very tired due to the whole day's work and had soon fallen asleep. The swallow put the ruby stone on the table near the thimble. After keeping the ruby stone on the table, the swallow went near the boy as his mother was sleeping and no one was taking care of him. It shook its wings near him, because of which the boy felt the cool air and felt better. He felt that he was getting better and went to sleep. With this, we can make out that the swallow was a kind-hearted bird. The bird was supposed to continue with his journey to Egypt, but he stopped there in the city just to help the statue to carry out with his commands. So obviously the bird had a very big heart. The swallow flew back and went to the statue of Happy Prince and told him what he had done. Now suddenly the bird started feeling warm. He said that it was very strange that he was feeling little warm even though the weather was very cold. The prince replied that he was feeling warm because he had done a good deed. He had helped someone. He had helped a needy person. So that's all in this video. Keep reading, students. Again, I will continue with the story in the next video. Thank you.